Well, here's my latest project. Yeah. Riding lawnmower. Next door neighbor was going to give this to me for free. He first had it for sale for like $100 and stuff, and then he said, we'll see what I can do with it. I said, the worst part I can see right here is, see the crack around the gas tank is cracked pretty severely. And these gas tanks for this particular model, since it does go all the way underneath that seat and everything, are like $150, $160 on up to $229. But I'm just going to see if I can't get some of that JB Weld plastic stuff and see if I can't fix that. If I can get the gas cap lid off. I've had a hell of a time twisting on that, and I don't want to break the plastic any worse than it already is. I had 2 tires. No, both flat right now, but I know one of these tires, I think it was this one over here, was flat when I went over to look at it. But I've got a pretty new, probably a 2015 or 16 John Deere riding lawnmower. But this one, if I can get it running and everything the way I want to, is going to be specifically used in that old cemetery that we've been kind of working on. So hopefully I can get it running. It does need a fuel filter and stuff because looks like they broke the end of that one off. So I'll need a fuel filter. I'm not sure about the battery. He said he charged it up and dumped a little gasoline into the carburetor and it started up and ran, so I don't know how old the battery is. We'll just charge it up and see. But I think for what I want it for, it's perfectly fine for that. So like I said, it's got a pretty powerful engine and it's a 18.5 overhead valve Intech Plus. So that'll be a project. So that was one of my projects that I'm planning on working on. So let's see the other thing that I did work on this weekend and actually got it working again. And this was the other project I worked on this weekend. This has been in storage for, what, 2 years? Probably 2 years. Could not get it, I mean, it might start, but then it wouldn't stay running. But mostly it was you crank and crank and crank and crank, and it wouldn't start at all. So at first I thought, well, okay, I'm just going to start with the simplest things, which I didn't think it was the fuel line or anything like that, but I went ahead and changed out the fuel filter on it and put a new fuel filter, and then unhooked the spark plug and laid it up against the head inside of there and gave it a few cranks. Well, we had blue sparks, so I knew that it wasn't the ignition coil, which was my first guess, because we were kind of told that's what it was, but come to find out that wasn't it at all. So then I thought, well, okay, since I know I'm getting fire from the ignition coil, the only other thing I could think of right offhand would be this kill switch. So I went ahead and unhooked that, primed it up and everything, and cranked it, and it started. So it's like, okay, I think the kill switch is bad. So I thought, well, okay, now that it's running, if the kill switch is bad, maybe if I hook it back up, it will kill it. And then I can go ahead and figure out which part number I would need to replace this. But the strange thing about it is after I unhooked that, or hooked it back up, it still kept running. So I thought, well, maybe it's not the kill switch after all. Maybe there was a loose connection somewhere. So I went ahead and hit the kill switch, and it killed it. So I thought, okay, maybe it's not the switch after all either. So I put it back to run, cranked it a few times, and it started right up. So I'll probably, just because it's real slow to return when you prime it. I'll probably go ahead and replace the bulb on that. I might go ahead and replace the gas lines going to and from the carburetor into the tank, just in case there's like a kink or something in there. But it comes up a lot quicker than it was. But what we use this for, since we've already bought another weed whacker, is this is for our chainsaw on a stick, kind of like jalapeno on a stick. So this works really well. You can see in some of the cemetery videos we did before. Yeah, loud. So that works really good for that. So now I've got this actually running. And we got another weed eater I bought. For the other weed eater. I thought maybe it would work on this one, but it won't. I bought a Renegade blade to use on the other weed eater for cutting brush, because there's a lot of brush at the cemetery and stuff like that. So I've seen the videos on this. The reason I chose this is because of the videos that I watched. This seemed to be the best overall blade for what I'll probably be using it for. So I got that, and I also got the adapter kit to put it on the steel weed whacker. So that's my latest projects, and I also have one more project, and I think I know what's wrong with this. What it is, there's our new blower. That's our old blower, and the string on the crank head broke, and so I just went ahead and shortened it up. You can kind of see the knot I tied in it. Kind of shortened the cord up, and I think what it is and stuff is it's too short now and stuff, so it's not getting enough compression to actually start the engine up, because it ran just fine until the cord broke. So anyway. So then I'll fix that, so then we'll have 2 blowers, 2 weed whackers, 2 lawnmowers, and we've got, as of now, 2 push mowers and push string trimmer. That works really well too. So anyway, so I'm glad I got this fixed after it's been sitting for a while, because it was really aggravating, because I thought I don't want to get rid of that, because that's the only one that the chainsaw on a stick works with, because the new steel that we've got does not have the split shaft on it like this one does here. To buy a specialized, there we go. I am going to have to buy a specialized tool to adjust the carburetor, because the carburetor does need adjustment, because I think the fuel air mix is a little off. So anyway, but at least ways I can get it started, and it is actually running although not really good yet. But the Poland and probably the Husqvarna, I think they're made by the same company. Does have weird tools and stuff to work on these things, so I will order that and hopefully get that carburetor adjusted so it will run like it did pretty much when we first bought it. So anyway, so wish me luck on the rest of these projects. Hopefully they won't sit for 2 years. So thanks for watching.